anticontentproject.com.
Open and close them! Just touch the pressure! Yeah! Just touch the pressure!
Hello! Welcome to She Serve Too! I'm Genevieve.
I'm Jalisa.
Welcome back to the show.
Hi, how are you guys doing? How are you doing, Genevieve?
I'm doing good. I'm happy to be here with you, Jalisa.
Me too.
I love this show. Every time. It's fun to do.
It is.
So, today we'd like to talk to you about self-care.
Yes. And what does your self-care routine look like? And we'll go into what our self-care routine looks like for us.
And we also just would like to throw out a few ideas of good ways to check on how you're doing on your self-care.
Mm-hmm.
Some good questions to ask yourself or have somebody else ask you, because sometimes we're not willing to ask the questions ourselves.
Yes. Or be truthful about it. Like, no, I'm fine. I'm okay.
It's fine. Fun is a terrible word.
Yes.
So yeah. Jalisa, what are some questions we can ask ourselves in terms of self-care?
I think for me is like a check-in question for me is like, have you eaten? Like, have you ate today? Like, I think that's one of my go-to questions when I start feeling like you know, like when you're like you're on edge, like you're on like yelling at the kids. They're like, "Mommy, can I have?" And I'm like, "No!" Like, am I hungry? Because I'll make sure that they're fed, and I'll make sure everybody around me is fed. But I have a hard time making sure that I've eaten before I've got to that point. So I think my question to myself is, have you eaten?
Yeah, I think like it really boils down to checking on our mind, body, and soul.
Mm-hmm.
Would you agree?
Yeah, I definitely agree. Like that's like
I think that have you eaten is definitely our body.
Mm-hmm.
What about sleep?
Yeah, sleep.
Have you slept?
Yes. Have you taken a nap? Like, you know, yeah. Like, have you slept?
Are you going to bed at a decent hour?
Mm-hmm.
Are you? What are you doing?
Yeah.
So, that's definitely the body side of things.
Yeah.
So, what have you done to take care of your body this week, Jalisa?
For my body this week, I've done yoga. Like, I got into this new series, this chakra balancing series, and I've missed like 2 days, but I haven't done it today. But I did it yesterday. But I'm gonna get back when I get home and finish that up because it's like seven days. So that's what I've done for my body, I would say.
Cool.
You?
Well, I actually did go to the gym this week for the first time in a while.
Yes.
I actually went and got in the pool, and that, for me, that's probably the most effective thing.
Yes.
Because I need the water. There's something my first rheumatologist actually told me that there's been a lot of studies that have shown that just the simple act of being in the water for about 30 minutes a day actually has a huge impact on the quality of life for fibromyalgia patients and PTSD patients.
Yes.
They don't really know why.
Yeah.
It does need to be a temperature that's not freezing because that's not very relaxing to the body at all. But I've been extremely blessed in that we got a membership to Lifetime Fitness through Wounded Warrior Project.
Okay.
And it's a bit of a drive to get there, but the thing for me that I love is it's a therapeutic temperature pool.
Oof,
so the water is warm.
Yeah.
It's not lap pool. It's not that they have a lap pool.
Yeah.
So if I wanted cold water, I could go there, but the therapeutic temperature pool makes all the difference.
Okay.
Because it's like a temperature that feels good on my body.
Yeah.
And I can actually function.
Yeah. I would definitely say, water for me is the same thing. Like, I am grateful for the Coast Guard. Being in remedial swim, I was there. And getting up at 3:30 in the morning to get in the pool, like to go back to the basics, it was very refreshing. I think mentally, that's what got me through a boot camp, is having that solitude time and just being in the water. And I felt like I was strong too. Like I wasn't even lifting weights. I felt like my body mass, like, because it's an easy, like, you don't have to feel your weight. Like you're not lifting, you're just floating and moving in the water, like you're able to feel, you know, free.
I wonder, like, I would be curious if someone did like a study of the stress levels of recruits in basic training in like the Coast Guard and Navy where you actually do have to swim versus the other branches where you don't get to swim.
Yeah.
That would be really interesting.
That would. I would definitely, I would like it. I would enjoy it.
That would be really interesting. So yeah, I think water is very interesting, and I'd be curious what the difference. I hadn't even thought about being able to swim in basic because we didn't get to swim.
Yeah, we had to. Yeah, we had to. We had to wade, and I knew, like, because I was, and that's when my family, they were laughing when I was like, "Hey, I'm gonna go join the Coast Guard." They're like, you can't swim," and I'm like, "Yes, I can." Like my grandma had enrolled us into like YMCA, like way prior, but I hadn't really swam like before, so I was like, "Yo, that's not gonna stop me." And then as soon as like we got up to like jump in the water. Like I knew, and they were like, "Does anybody know how to swim?" And I was like, "No, Jalisa, you got this." Like, and then we had to cross our arms, and we had to jump. And I knew, like, once I got up there, and they were like, "Next," and like, I still jumped. Like I went down, and like I just opened my mouth before I even got, because it was so deep. Like, and I was like, "Oh, what is that?" Like, and so yes, and I like opened my. I was like, as I got up, I was like choking, but I was like, "No, you're gonna do this." And so I was just
like doggy
paddling. I was, and like the guy, he just like stuck the stick out. I was like, "Here, you need this."
Was this in basic? Oh no.
And I just held onto this stick as he pulled me out the pool. And that was like, you know, what they did. They taught us like the basics of basics, and I was able to pass the swim test by week 8. Like that was one of my biggest accomplishments, was pushing myself, because it was. Yeah, it was. I wish I had
so
a
funny.
video, but I looked like
I need to go swimming with you.
Yes,
you need to help me like learn how to swim properly, because I just swim. I'm like, I'm just moving through the water, like whatever. So yeah, that's probably the biggest thing for me in self-care, and I've managed to keep myself so busy lately. I have not been doing that, and because it is a bit of a drive, that doesn't help, but I was like, no, I have to start making this a priority again.
Yes.
Because that's when I'm most functional.
Yeah. And you know that, like, and that's the thing about, like, what's really cool about self-observation is, like, you finding that, like, I know what makes me tick. I know when I'm able to perform at my highest capacity. And so it's just that's what these self-checks are for, is just making sure, like, hey, like, this is probably out of whack. It's not that you're slow or you're incapable or you're not good enough. It's that you're missing steps. Like you're taking too much from the well, like the drinking cup. You're pouring it and spreading it everywhere, but not, you need to reserve some for yourself.
Totally. And I actually started a new eating plan this week.
Okay.
I'm not going to call it a diet.
Yeah, no.
It's not. It's a anti-inflammatory kind of idea, and so lots of turmeric and different spices and stuff, but I'm not going low carb again, because I've tried that before and it was just excruciatingly painful.
Yeah.
So I started this, and it's only been a few days, but I'm noticing less bloat. I'm noticing less overall pain. Like I'm dealing with some other pain issues, but some of the overall just fibromyalgia pain is dissipating at least a little bit.
Yeah.
But taking the money, honestly, to be able to choose to purchase that maybe more expensive food that's not as easy or whatever, and actually taking the time to prepare that food has been a labor of self-love, I suppose.
Yes.
But I'm finding I kind of enjoy it, like actually taking the time to. I made this amazing curry the other day.
Ooh, I love curry.
And then I made like a rice pilau to go with it, with brown rice, and it was so good. Like I actually had to go to the store to buy raisins because I thought I had them. Yeah. I was like, I want raisins in my rice.
Yeah.
But like actually taking the time to make that and just have those amazing flavors all together is just, it's been cool.
Yeah.
So
it gets you into the
that's my body.
Yeah.
So what about our Mind.
For our mind.
What kinds of questions can we ask ourselves with our mind?
I guess. Have you, for me, it's like, when's the last time you read something like that? Like, have you read? Like, or have you, I think that would probably be for me. Have I read something? And like now I'm all into like YouTube because YouTube has the read aloud. Like, I've been watching that with the kids, and then I was like, oh, what kind of read aloud do they have for adults? There is a lot of information out there.
I love Audibles.
Yes.
Audible books are my
Audible.
best friend. Like, we have a Kindle or an Alexa, like an Amazon Echo. There we go. And I can play my Audible books through it. So like I can be doing dishes or whatever, and have interesting things going into my mind, or I can tell it to play me the right kind of music, the music that's going to help calm me down, or pep me up when I'm just like, oh, I'm so done. So yeah, that's fun, and I'm pretty excited. Like I've been doing this new job for about 5 months now, I guess. Really doing it in earnest, probably about 4 months, but I teach English as a second language on the internet and to Chinese kids, and like I haven't really been able to work in a traditional job for a while because it just like between anxiety attacks, between the multiple appointments at the VA and everything, like trying to do a normal job is just not gonna happen. But I have a master's degree, I have 2 bachelor's degrees. Like I need to be doing something with my mind, and it's interesting because this job, I don't know if it's just the active working or if it's the students I have or whatever, but I mean, I'm waking up at ridiculous hours in the morning because I teach from about 2 to 6 in the morning. And so the hours are not great, but I am, like, I feel more excited about life than I have for a while. And I think part of that is just that I am using my mind. And, like, teaching is interesting in and of itself because it requires you to come up with a lot of different ways to teach something. So, and especially when you're talking to somebody who's learning another language, like you have to come up with synonyms, you have to come up with a lot of different things. And as someone with fibromyalgia, my brain doesn't always function that way, but to be able to see, oh, I do still have these skills, I do still have these connections in my brain has been really interesting. Yeah,
it makes you feel good, like, to be able to get out and do some, like you said, like, just that using your brain, and it makes you feel good. It does.
And being able to contribute to my family too helps, but because it makes me more willing to spend the money on the groceries I need.
You got to. The best investment, like Warren Buffett is like always like, I watch this little cartoon, Secret Millionaires, me and the kids, and he's like, the best investment you can make is an investment in yourself. And like when you were talking about the food, like I was just like, dang. Like turmeric, like we have to start making like those all around investments in what we eat, like what's going into our mind, like what we're doing for our body, like those are probably where we need to focus most of our attention. And that's why these self checks and these routines and the mental health awareness is so important, because once you get this working good, everything on the outside will follow. Like,
it's interesting because there's always been kind of this concept of a gut check, where like if you don't feel about it right in your gut, then that's a good indicator that maybe you need to double think some stuff. But there's been a lot of research done showing that the health of your gut is both impacted by stress, but also an unhealthy gut will increase depression, will increase all kinds of other things. So if we're not putting the right nutrients in our body, if we're not getting the right things into our gut, and whether it be probiotics or vitamins or just healthy food and the right amount of fiber, like it can impact every aspect of our lives. Like I mean, you think about it, there's like 65 feet of intestine. Insanity. Like it's a lot of space. And so like if we and I think as members of the military, there's a lot of stress involved in that. A lot. And I think that probably puts things a little out of whack, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I was just watching one of my military veteran friends, she posted the boot camp, like the video, how we get off the bus and I just instantly I had to watch it. I was like, oh my gosh. And then I'm like stressed because I already know what that environment, like once you enter the military, like you program because you have to be placed in these stressful environments, so you have to react under that pressure. So as soon as you step off, like soon as you saw, like you're in there, and it's like, and it becomes a stressful situation. But we also have to, have and that's why it is important to have these tools of the self-care routines and the self-checks, because that's what we're we had to go through.
Well, it's so funny. A few years ago, there was a Skype commercial campaign that was on Hulu or whatever, and there's that ringtone for Skype. You know what I'm talking about? And like at this point, I'd been through, between my husband and I, we'd been through the better part of 4 years worth of deployments. And so, like, that Skype ringtone was kind of like the indicator that, oh, somebody's calling, you better get there quick.
Yes.
And, like, they'll try to get there, and then you missed the call, or the call wouldn't connect, or the call disconnected like 25 times. So, like, every time that commercial would come on, like, my heart would start pounding, and I'd just be like, I'm like, it's not for me.
Yeah.
It's not for me. It's okay. Like, it was just like this like programmed response to like this stupid ringtone.
Yeah. Like I have to answer it now, like, cause that's.
And I'm like, where is it? And I'm like, it's on the TV. It's not in reality here.
Yeah.
But I think that's just a tiny picture of just like some of the like hearing reveille.
Yes. Who has that as their ringtone?
Oh gosh.
Somebody has it. That group, and it was just like.
And I'm like. You're just like, no.
Reveille, like yes.
Don't do that to me.
Yes.
I can't take it. Oh gosh.
Oh my god.
So these like programmed stress responses. So yeah. Like I think food, what we put in our bodies is important, and I think it's easy to get so busy or make ourselves so busy that we don't take the time to put healthy food in our bodies. And I'll be honest, I'm not ready to go like all organic and do some of the more expensive stuff some people do. I'm just not prepared for that right now, but I can choose to make better choices.
Yeah, I think it's important, but we have to understand like what culturally, like that's what we were brought, like we were raised on fast food, like that's our
I wasn't.
like
my mom was like super healthy, but like it's harder to do that like now for me. Like, just because like we had a garden, we had a lot of stuff, and I've tried growing stuff. I'm a really, really bad gardener. I have, like, whatever's worse than a black thumb. I kill everything I try to grow.
No, it's not that. It's just you're just, like, you have other responsibilities. And, like, when you have to take care of humans, like, and run a household. Like, we run little, like, country. Like we, on the forefront. So you have to, like, not only be, like, a wife, a mother, like, an accountant, a teacher, a first aid, a nurse. Like, we all, like, run when you have a family or just, the experience. You just have to do it. So that's probably, like, last on your priority list. So it's not that you're bad at art. You just haven't focused on it. Like, that's it. You haven't worked on it.
Living in a desert does not make it.
Yeah.
Like, some people can successfully do it. I think a lot of it has to do with automated irrigation systems, which I haven't figured out yet. I'm sure if I really sat down and tried to figure it out, I could figure out how to program an irrigation system.
You would.
It's just not a priority on the list.
That's it.
But it's so cool they've got like gardens in schools now.
I seen that. I thought that was so cute. I was driving past. I was like, oh my gosh, is that a garden? In the elementary school, and I really enjoy that. I think.
Well, like they have been doing a thing at our school about once a month. They have farmers market where whatever you give is just donation. So you can get whatever you can afford and get the fruits and vegetables they have there. And there was another school that was doing one where like for $10 you get like 60 pounds of produce.
Okay.
Like just go, and I was like, that's pretty awesome. Like $10 for 60 pounds of fruits and vegetables, like.
And I think it's really good. It's amazing because a lot of kids aren't able to be exposed to that. So if their family isn't able, or they're located in a food desert, at least they do have that option to.
I think having those gardens in schools is probably an incredible, powerful food desert like eradicator.
Mm-hmm.
Because the food deserts, it's not that there's no food, it's there's no healthy food. And if you are growing that healthy food and it's seasonal and it's fresh, like, can you imagine? Now you just have to teach people how to cook it.
Yeah. Yeah, but I feel like, just there is a community garden downtown. I went over there for what if they had a festival, Grow Your Own festival.
Did you know there's one in Craig Ranch Park?
No!
Yeah, and you can actually, like, borrow part of it. Like, you can grow your own garden in, like, a plot of it.
Oh, wow. See,
You should do that with your kids.
I know.
We should all do it together.
We should definitely check that out. We can get it done. But, I think that's a powerful, and that goes back to your body. Like, like you said, getting the fresh food and getting the fresh food and water, too. Water's a big thing for me. Like, I don't drink enough water, and I need to, and I really just need to do it, but that's something that I'm working on.
I'm such a water snob, like, not in that, like, I'll only drink Evian or something, but I grew up in the Pacific Northwest, and the water there is just amazing, because it's, like, mountain runoff, and tastes amazing, and desert water is terrible. I finally broke down and bought a water machine, and I have water delivered to my house, and I rent the water machine, but then the water is ice cold when it comes out. It tastes good, and I drink a whole lot more than
Yes, and that's the thing. Like, if I do, I'll always, like, the only place I do drink water consistently is when we go out to eat, because I'm not paying for sodas, so I just can you give me my water in my limit?
I will drink a good part of a gallon of water at a restaurant sometimes.
Yeah,
You're just like, really? I have to refill your water?
Yes, come on, keep it coming.
I was at a restaurant once when I was in tech school. I grew up, again, in the Pacific Northwest, where it gets cool at night. And in the summer, it doesn't really top about 90 at the hottest, and that's maybe 2 days.
Yeah.
So I'm in West Texas, okay? It's like 110 every day. And we go out to dinner. And I have gone through so many glasses of water, and finally the waiter is sick and tired of it, so he brings out a pitcher, and he stuck 2 straws together, and he's like, here!
Like, thanks, I appreciate it.
You drink it all.
Yeah.
Like, what is wrong with this person?
It's like, yeah.
Too funny.
Yeah.
So what about our soul?
For soul, I like to journal. I enjoy meditating. I enjoy, probably like in a lot of different like reading. So I guess that's the same for me.
Yeah.
You?
I think there's prayer can be helpful.
Yes.
Depending on your faith or whatever. I think prayer and meditation serve similar functions in terms of they take a moment to really focus on maybe the things that are bothering you, maybe things that are causing those gut feelings. I don't know. I think it can be really powerful, and I think for me, I notice it's really easy to forget or to just push off, because sometimes feeling those feelings, thinking those things is not very comfortable.
Yes, it makes you uncomfortable.
And so I would rather just avoid them. So being able to really kind of step back from that and just take a couple minutes away, and I think that can be helpful.
Yeah.
Like, are there things that you've noticed in your life that are good indicators that maybe you're slipping into depression or into some kind of mental health, not crisis necessarily, but like
you're going down
point?
Yeah, I'm swimming upstream. Like I have like, I guess for me the indication will always be like I don't have like current entries in my journal. Like if I know I'm not journaling consistently, like I haven't eaten, like, or for me also is like the state of my surroundings. Like, is laundry piled up? Is there clothes all over the floor? Like, if every room that I walk to, like down the hallway, like if everything's just in chaos, like it's pretty clear where my mental state is. And like the kitchen, like I'll let things.
Kitchen is a disaster.
Yeah,
it's like a huge. I feel like the kitchen for me is probably the urgency point, like because I think it goes back to everything. Like, if your kitchen isn't clean, how are you going to prepare that healthy food? If your kitchen isn't functional, if all the dishes, all the pots and pans are dirty, you'll be like,
let's
pizza.
just go. Yes.
Let's do pizza.
Yes.
And so, like, but I think it is a point where you can notice it is more quickly because other things maybe don't sink into chaos quite as quickly.
Yeah.
But,
Those
yeah, like my kitchen, like, I think you can pretty much tell the state of my mental health by the state of my kitchen floor. That's a pretty solid indicator. Not that I need my kitchen floor to be perfect.
Yeah.
But if there's like food all over it or like big spots of whatever, spaghetti sauce or whatever, then it's a pretty good indicator that things are not in a good place.
Like when, and it's not just saying that day, but when you get into like, okay, like I literally I've seen this spot for like 7 days. Like it's really, and you just keep like, okay, well, and it's like you make yourself, like, not that we do, like a lot of times we make ourselves, and I know for me, like I do, like if I don't want to handle things, like I will go, like a lot of, I'll just like, oh, I have to do this. And then, oh, I have to wash clothes. Oh, well, I need to go clean the kitchen. Oh, well, I need to go clean the refrigerator. Oh, well, and I'll like actively do it. Like, but nothing never ever gets done because I'm just hopping from one to one to one. And like, I'm disjointed and disorganized and like, and while still trying to cater to every need of my children and the still things that have to go on, like like bills that need to get paid or like just like trash and recycling and
like it's funny because I have been this person who's been very resistant to planning.
Me
and
too.
I don't know why, because on the one hand, like I love lists. I love to have lists. I love to check things off of lists.
Yes.
I think the problem with like keeping your home is that it's never over.
No.
Like you could check it off and then you get to do it again in 3 hours.
Yes. It's a function. It's a functioning environment. Like it's a living and like there's so.
It's a breathing, living space.
Yeah, it's a breathing, living space. And then like with kids too, like they don't care. They have no remorse. They can watch you clean for like hours.
One thing I found that helps with that is making them part of the
process.
Solution.
Yeah.
Like, my kids would not flush the toilet. And I never went in their bathroom, and so I would go in there and I'd be like, ew, it's disgusting.
Yes.
And so I actually had my daughter clean the toilet once.
Yes.
And after that she's like, Sissy didn't clean the toilet, or she didn't flush the toilet. I was like, yeah, you wonder why I was so upset.
My kids still, like, they will clean the toilet, my daughter, and I'm like, if you hear, like, for me, like, that was a big thing growing up, was, like, you hear the toilet, and it's, like, oh, it's quiet, like, I don't know, like, maybe I watched some cartoon or something with the toilet. I'm pretty sure that was kind of, like, on Look Who's Talking, or, I forgot, what's that movie called, like, the toilet monster, like.
Oh, I don't know.
What is it? Look Who's
I know,
Talking?
I hated the toilets in like grocery stores and stuff. Those things scared the heck out of me.
Yeah.
Like I would like flush and run.
Right.
Like,
Yeah,
run.
definitely.
But the toilets in the bathrooms aren't that bad. But no, they just wouldn't bother. And then once they were responsible for cleaning that toilet, they flushed the toilet now.
Yeah.
So finding a way to help them become active. So I think that's another huge thing is, I think when we are in a depressed state, when we are in a place where it's hard to function, it's easy to just think, well, it's all on me, and it's easier for it to be all on me than for me to count on anyone else. But when you do that, there's no backup. Like if you are just in a place where you just cannot do that day, there's nobody else to do it. So we have to let go. We have to give other people a chance to help us. And that's easier said than done.
It is. Sometimes it is. But as time goes on, we'll get better, and, we'll realize, and it just takes some self-reflection, because that's what you were saying, because my daughter and my son, they both wash their clothes, and like now, this week, that's what we were working on. We're like, you need to go in there and separate your clothes. You need to wash them, because they'll go outside and play, get dirty, come in, they take showers like 3 or 4 times a day. Like they're always in the mud or something. And so it's like, I need you to understand, like, I'm washing. It takes energy to wash clothes. Like I have to physically get up
Yeah.
and exert energy. So now let me put that. And I do see like when they're able to help, when they're able to get in there and cook. And I do see like when I'm going down that, I'm swimming upstream, like I'm like, no, I don't need, no, don't help, I got it, and I will kind of shut them down. And even my husband, like, dude, like, and I'll expect him like, oh well, you see this needs to get done, so you need to help, like, and not like we all have a lot on our plate and we just need to be,
So it's like we expect help, but we aren't
Yeah.
willing to put in the time to
No.
make it so that it's a functional thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, silliest thing ever, but like my husband unloads the dishwasher,
Mm-hmm.
and we were just struggling because he wasn't doing it because he
Mm-hmm.
couldn't tell if it's clean or dirty.
Mm-hmm.
So we spent the whatever dollars to buy one of those magnets that says clean and dirty.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a slider, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna say it's clean when I start the dishwasher,
Mm-hmm.
because you can see the dishwasher's running and you know it's not done.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my daughter didn't realize that. She's like, but Mom, it said it's clean, but look, it's all soapy. I was like, because you stopped the dishwasher. And my husband's like, well, she's got a point. I was like, look, I am not going to wait till the dishwasher stops to go change it over to clean.
Yes.
Like, I don't have time for that.
No, so let's call it done. We're done.
Like, I'm going to call it clean. When it's washing, it's clean. Like, it's clean when the dishwasher's off. Like,
yes.
and so, but like, just that simple thing, but like in the past I've been like, but I don't want to spend the $7 to buy this magnet. I don't want to make a magnet. I don't feel like it.
Yes.
But just that simple thing means we have a communication, because lately it's like passing ships in the night, because he's working crazy hours. I wake up crazy early. If he gets off late, I don't see him. So kind of building in those communication points and building those structures and building the help.
Yes.
Building the help, because that's huge.
Yeah, taking the time, showing them, like, my kids are folding their clothes, like, now and putting them back away, because I was like, Jalisa, you cannot drive yourself crazy, because I've seen so many, like, I've seen my family members, like, my parents, like, like, it takes a lot of energy to run a household, and I guess that's what they always say, it takes a village, and we've gotten so disconnected from that, like, we're, like, single family homes, and, like, everybody's just, to themselves, so it's really all on you, like, instead of having, like, the grandparents or the village come and step up in certain areas of, the family structure. But I had to really, like, give a lot of control to my kids, like, and be like, hey, well, you're more than, like, my son, he cooks, my daughter, she'll cook sometimes, like, they're function, they live their own lives, but I have to sit there and really take the time and, like, give them the responsibility.
Teach them how to cut the vegetables without slicing their fingers.
Yes. And they'll do it. Like, you just have to, like, I feel like they're more than capable of getting it done.
I mean, all you have to do is watch one of these, like, kids chef shows.
Yeah, that's what we watch all the time. We watch.
Apparently they can cook. But I think it really does boil down to, like, it's easy in that depressed state to feel like, well, it has to be my responsibility, when it's not. And even if you're single, like, and you have a job and it's just too hard to get stuff done, hire someone to help you. Like, cut back on something. Like, I can't tell you the times in my life that I've hired help with, like, deep cleaning my house, like, the improvement in my mental state that comes from that. Like, actually, I've been recognizing lately, like, with our schedules and with how hard all of us are working, it's just not happening. Deep cleaning, like, we might be able to maybe maintain basic
surface clean,
but it's not, the deep cleaning's not getting done, and you notice it piles up over time. So I'm like, no, I'm hiring someone, because it, maybe it's doing less fun things sometimes or whatever, but it's the difference in my mental state is huge. So sometimes, like, one of the most helpful things one of my therapists actually ever said to me was, I was feeling super, super stressed. There was just so much to do, and I was trying to accomplish it all. And she's like, okay, we're going to write down everything that needs to be done. So we wrote it down. And then she's like, okay, which of these things has to be accomplished by you personally? And it turned out, of the list of like 20 things, about 3 of them had to be done by me.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm not going to let anybody else pack my clothes. I'm not going to let anybody else do certain things. Nobody else can go to my doctor's appointments.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, well, now that we've established those things have to be done by you, what could somebody else in your life do? What could your husband do? What could your kids do? How could you activate them? And just taking a step back and looking at it from that perspective was huge.
Yeah.
Because it's so easy to just get stuck in this place where you don't know which side is up.
Yeah.
So.
It's the mind is a slippery thing, and if you have to train it to, to work efficiently, you have to choose positive thoughts, because it's a choice. Like, happiness is a choice. You choose to be happy, you choose to be content. Like, but if you're so used to, and with me, like, and having a negative mindset and a negative self-image, or not feeling worthy, or not having that self-love, like I neglected myself. And going through this process of self-healing and just exploring, like, education, going to anger like learning these emotions and these feelings and expanding my emotional vocabulary, like, has been profound, because I'm starting to, like, and being able to self-observe, is I'm starting to see patterns and habits, and healthy habits versus unhealthy habits, like lifestyles, like, just I'm learning myself and learning where I'm able to function at my greatest capacity, and when I'm not functioning at, like, what are the steps do I need to take to make sure that I get back to where I need to be.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
So yeah, take a step back and take a minute to ask yourself, what am I doing to take care of my mind, my body, and my soul or spirit, whatever you want to call it.
Yes.
Because that's a good way to figure out what's going on for you and to make the choices that can help you to get better.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts, Jalisa?
Yeah, just take time for you. Like, you just make sure that you're okay, because you can not save anybody else. Like, it's not your job to heal anybody else either. Like, your job is to focus on yourself, like, and to invest in yourself, like, mentally, spiritually, physically, like, invest in yourself, like, and take the time that you need as necessary. But journal, meditation, prayer, outside, like, always the sun, like, sometimes, like,
vitamin D.
Yes, sometimes, and then, like, just stop and see some greenery, like, just slow down, because you're fine, everything's gonna work out. Everything's always working out for us, and there's no better time than now, and just enjoy that. And sometimes it is being uncomfortable sitting with yourself and accepting, but just forgive yourself and be present with yourself and just take care of yourself.
Yes. So you can reach us at anticontent on Twitter or anticontentproject@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you. We would love to see your lovely faces and pictures. We really do want this backdrop to eventually be all of your lovely faces, so people can see the variety of women who've served in our military.
Yeah.
And please reach out to us if you're in a crisis. There's the Veterans Crisis Line.
Yes.
As well as the National Crisis Line, and I'll be sure to pop those up on this video so you can have access to those whenever you need. And just know that you're not alone. And I think that is the lie that is told to us most in our own brain when we are in a crisis, is that we are alone. And you're not. You're not the only one. You're not alone.
No.
Many people have gone through exactly what you're going through, and you will get through this.
Yes.
You are strong. You are you are capable of getting through even the hardest times.
Yes. Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
fancycontentproject.com.